guys, and welcome to a new episode of A Dog Soul. I'm Anita, I'm your host and a professional dog trainer, and today we're gonna find out if your dog is imagining things. So stay tuned and have fun. Alright. So, this might strike you as a weird topic, but I guess it will become a little clearer in a few minutes. So, maybe you can relate to that. You're walking with your dog and you have chosen a specific path, and suddenly your dog stops. His nose is kind of moving, his eyes are kind of worried. His tail might just drop a little bit and he doesn't want to proceed, and there is really nothing you can see that would justify such a reaction. And that's one moment where a lot of us just ask ourselves, is he imagining stuff, or what's wrong with him now? Another thing is, and that happens a lot with adolescent dogs and puppies in a spooky period, that's just a phase where the brain is in development and the dogs get startled very easily and frightened a lot more easy. And in such a phase, it sometimes happens that things that were okay for forever, or at least a significant amount of time, become scary for your dog. So this might be a street sign, a snowman, a trash can, whatever. And that's another situation where a lot of owners kind of question the sanity of their dogs. And let's just try to find out what's happening here. So, of course, in a spooky period or whenever the brain is in development, that means in puppies and in puberty and in adolescent dogs, roughly until the third year, or for larger breeds, it would be later. For tiny breeds, it would be sooner. But in this phase of life, it's just, the brain is really under construction. So whatever happens there, it's just, it just happens. And of course, in some of these spooky periods, the dog is a little, on the edge. Let's just call it that. And emotions are triggered very, very easily. And of course, a fear response counts as well. So when your dog is showing you any kind of fear-related behavior or just generalized worriedness in this phase of life, try to be patient with him. Try to take him seriously and just give him a little more time to process things. And you might get the opportunity to introduce him to old stuff in a new way. So whenever he sees an object that was okay before and now it's this whole new thing that he's never seen before, you can just introduce him again. And that's actually a great opportunity, because who amongst us doesn't make mistakes? So maybe you haven't paid attention the first time your dog has seen this thing, or so whatever. And if your dog shows you some kind of discomfort with a situation, a path you're walking on, a behavior you're asking of him, take him seriously. That's kind of true in every situation. Of course, there are dogs who put up a little bit of a show to get attention, but of course, the question would be, why does he need to do that? Doesn't he get enough attention in day-to-day life? And who decides that? Very often we hear that we have to decide how much attention our dog is allowed to need. And that's weird, because every individual and every animal is different, and some dogs might need more attention, some dogs might need less. So who are we to decide that? And that's why you should take your dog seriously, even though it might seem totally insane and you cannot find a rational reason for his behavior. And you might think, oh my god, we've walked past this stupid snowman like a gazillion times and it has never been a problem, and now he's putting up that show. What's wrong with him? And of course, there is another issue that could be present at the time, especially if your dog is done with brain development, so he's older. Then there might always be an issue with some kind of pain or discomfort in his body. That can be anything related to joints. It can be anything related to intestines. It can be anything. It can also be that his eyesight isn't what it was. So maybe you're walking past this snowman every day at, 3 p.m. So when it's light out. And today you walked past it at 6 p.m. and it's getting dark. And maybe your dog is just not used to this thing in the darkness or in twilight. So he cannot see it the same way he saw it before. And also maybe because he has a little issues with eyesight, he cannot see it as clearly as before. So you see, there can be a gazillion reasons for this. So again, the important thing is that you take your dog seriously. And what you can do is, besides that, of course, is that you really take a step back, try to assess the situation from an objective point of view. So try to see if there are any circumstances that are different from before. And if you cannot find anything, then you might consider smells. Your dog's nose is so much better than yours, unfortunately sometimes. That's what makes our dogs so great in finding things and playing search games with us and helping us in so many different situations. And yeah, sometimes it's a curse as well, because there might be some wild animals, wolves, boars, coyotes, whatever's in your area that your dog can smell. And that might be the reason why he doesn't want to go that path. Or maybe he has smelled a new dog in your area and he is not so sure with other dogs, or maybe not with this one because it smells weird. And we know that our dogs can smell specific conditions in the body or even diseases. So we cannot really say there is nothing there. Maybe there is, and we just cannot see it and cannot smell it. And therefore we cannot find out what our dogs are experiencing in this moment. And that's another reason why it's so important to take your dog seriously. And of course, if you want to help your dog be a little more confident and be a little more sure in these situations, you can just stop for a moment whenever you see your dog's getting a little insecure and play a fun game. And if your dog isn't able to participate in any game, then take a few steps back. Get distance between your dog and whatever's scaring him, and play a fun game then. So your dog will still recognize whatever's there, but he feels safe because the distance just great enough, and he gets to play a fun game. And if you only do that one time, it helps your dog this one time. And if you do that regularly, Your dog will learn that whenever there is a scary situation, he can trust you, and he can trust that you will provide him with nice feelings and nice experiences. And of course, that's amazing for your bond. And it's amazing for your dog because he has this advocate he can just trust and rely on. And these situations will become more and more easy. So if that's all a little too theoretical, let me just tell you a little story. For a long time, I've been going on hikes alone because I have a fearful dog, and I was just, I didn't want to bring him in a situation where he's afraid, and also he has this old fracture in his leg, which has been fixed, but not absolutely perfect. So, that has been an issue for him. So I went on hikes alone, and lately I've been seeing some changes in him because he has become even more secure, and he has built up a new kind of confidence. He's feeling better. Of course, we changed medication as well, but that's always an issue. And he's in a really good place right now. So I thought, well, let's try this. And of course, we have been exploring new places together because that's just great for his confidence. And I thought, well, let's take a short hike together and let's see how he does. If there is any problems, we can always go back, or I can carry him or whatever. So let's just do that. And we drove to this awesome place, and it was really, really beautiful. But there were a lot of kids there, like incredibly many, many, many kids. And my dog is really scared of kids. So and we never meet kids. So of course we haven't trained that very well. So, all right. So we were walking these extremely narrow paths, and there was a group of people just coming towards us, and they had a kid with them. And I was watching him, and I thought, okay, this is the moment. Whenever he shows me any sign of fear or whatever, that he's uncomfortable, we will just step to the side and let them pass. And I saw his face get a little worried, and so I asked him to step aside. And he couldn't do that. It was just, I don't know what it was. Normally it's no problem for him, but this time he couldn't. He could not go to the side. He could not let them pass. It was not possible. Fortunately, those people were really great. So they stepped aside themselves and just walked into this kind of corner thingy. And there was a doorway there, so they were off the path. And they tried to let us pass. And normally this would not be an issue. But this time, he just froze. He absolutely froze. It was not possible. He could not take another step. And I talked to him, and I asked him if he wants to be carried. And actually, this is a whole ritual thing for us. So he has learned that whenever he cannot do anything by himself and is really scared, then he can come up to me, sit on my foot, and I will pick him up and carry him out of the situation. He knows nothing will happen to him, nobody will touch him, no other dog will approach him while he's on my arm, and we will exit the situation. He is absolutely sure of that. He is not uncomfortable, and on my arm he is really relaxed. I was very, very, very obsessive with that while training. He had to be absolutely comfortable. So I asked him if he wanted to do that, and he showed me that this would be an option. So I picked him up and I carried him past these people and just thanked them for letting us pass, and not even 2 meters past them, I put him down again. He looked at me, he looked at the people, and he was just happily running ahead. So this was a situation he couldn't have handled on his own. And if I were just someone who would say, oh, come on, get over it. It's just people, they're far away, just pass by. He would lose all his trust in me. And I consider myself very lucky to be able to see that in him and to provide him with an out. And it's a really great feeling because it doesn't really matter if I understand it. It doesn't matter if I can see what his problem is. What matters is that I see he has a problem and that we have tools and behaviors and management techniques and whatever that can help us and that can help our dogs just cope with a situation. And of course, if it were just a dog, he would have his own strategies. He would just run away or bite or whatever. But since we are on this path together, we have to find possibilities to handle situations together. I cannot just say, oh, well, I took you on this hike, but you're on your own now. That would just be incredibly unfair. And let's be honest, we decide when we go for a walk, where we go for a walk, where we live, and the least we can do is keep an eye out for anything that might be too much for our dogs, any signs our dogs give us that they need help, and then actually help them. It's our freaking duty. We just have to do that. And I think it's an amazing feeling if you see your dog being relieved that you help him. It's just amazing. So whenever you think your dog's imagining things, try to stop yourself there. It doesn't matter. Even if he is imagining things, even if he sees ghosts or, I don't know, maybe you believe in that. I don't know. Maybe it's true. How could we know? And it doesn't matter. What matters is that your dog needs your help right now. And you can help him with creating a little situation in the situation that means happiness, fun, play, and all these great feelings just for the two of you and make your dog feel amazing with you. All right. I would love to hear your stories. So whenever you see your dog getting weird and you think he might see stuff, I'd be happy to listen to your story. And if you want to send me a video, that would be awesome as well. And if you have any questions, if you want anything discussed on the show, just send me an email, send me a WhatsApp. I'll be very happy to do so and very happy to hear from you. And yeah, I wish you a great time with your dog and don't give up. Just stay patient and change the situation so that you can have fun with your dog. It's worth it. All right. Until next time. Bye.